Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 89 of Pokemon Horizons titled At the End of the Adventure just dropped, and this is the final episode of Pokemon Horizons pre-time skip where our heroes have to try and escape Laqua. Why? Let's talk about it. Continuing from last episode, as Terapagos in its stellar form is in the air with all the 6 hero Pokemon, it uses its powers to make the Laquium crystal disappear. As Gibeon is on the floor devastated that his wishes can't true anymore, Meteo talks to Gibeon. He tells him that he knows that he founded Exceed Corporation for the development of people and Pokemon, so as his grandson, he'll try to carry out his will and do that, but without using Laquium. Gibeon says that he has no right to speak about the future of people and Pokemon, but Lucius tells him that that isn't true. The old him, who was a scientist, truly wished for happiness of people in Pokemon, and that's why Zygarde chose him to be his partner. And hearing this seemingly shocks Gibeon. Lucius then tells him that the future isn't something they can control, all they can do is believe in the next generation. And with that, he and Gibeon start fading away. As he's disappearing, he tells Liko that passing on Zygarde and Rayquaza's feelings and having her purify the Laquium was his final mission. He thanks all of his Pokemon, tells Liko to take care of Terapagos. Lucius then tells Gibeon that Listle is waiting for them and that their adventure isn't over. As he's fading away, Gibeon tells Ametheo to walk the path he believes in together with Ceruledge before the two disappear. Now that Lucius is gone, the ancient Pokeball are all open, meaning all the Pokemon have been released. As Friede says, they'll probably go back into the wild. However, just then, Spinel steps up. He talks about how he thought he was going to inherit Gibeon's will, but now that Gibeon's gone, he's going to surpass him. So he brings out the actual Laquium sphere that was brought up a couple episodes ago. This thing has Laquium gas inside of it, and it surrounds all the hero Pokemon. It causes them to be enraged and fight against each other, causing destruction in the area. He then says that from now on, Laqua will be occupied by the explorers. Terapagos is too out of energy to do something about it, and Liko tries to get them to stop, but she gets a move thrown her way for that. However, Rayquaza seemingly isn't affected by this, as it protects Liko and the kids from getting hit with the blast. Rayquaza then nods at our heroes, and it seemingly tells them to leave Laqua, and this is also true for Ametheo. Zerk and Onia arrive, and Ametheo brings out his Corviknight and flies away with them. Our heroes then return their Pokemon before running out of Laqua themselves. As they're doing that, Friede brings up the question that I'm sure everyone was asking. Since the Laquium was gone, what's the point of the explorers having Laqua? As our heroes are standing there, the ground beneath them cracks and Liko falls backwards, and with it, the belt of Lucius with all of his Pokeball holders, his journal that he wrote, along with his picture, all fall through the crack underground somewhere. Our heroes are devastated, but Friede tells them that the story of the ancient adventurer will remain as long as they remember it. Friede then wishes he could fly, but that's when Hatterene comes out of Liko's Pokeball. With it out, they realize that they can heal Charizard, so Hatterene does just that, and our heroes hop on the Charizard and fly away. Even though the conditions are really rough, extremely windy, eventually our heroes are able to get to the edge of Laqua. But they still need to go down the mountain, and Friede says that it's too dangerous to go down the mountain now, presumably because you don't want rock slides from the mountain shaking. However, just as Friede says they have reliable friends, we see that the brave Olivon is trying to get to where they're at. It seemingly, however, cannot because they're too high, so that's when they decide to use its secret button. The button, as I guessed, is a jet engine boost to the ship. Friede calls it the Brave Olivine Infinite Rising. Our heroes manage to get in the ship itself, however, they're still in the deck, so as they're flying on top of Laqua, the wind starts picking up even more, and it sends Friede and his Pokemon flying. They're able to hang on for a bit, and our heroes try to help them out. Friede picks up Cap and is able to get them to our heroes, but eventually he and Charizard can no longer hold on, and they go tumbling down the ship. I think we all knew something was happening to Friede, and this moment here explains why Roy has Cap in the next arc. Is Friede truly gone for the series? I presume probably not, but this is a good way to write him off, at least for the time being, to allow our heroes to face off against issues without having someone there strong to do it himself. We then skip 1 year later, and we see Liko back in her school as she has drawings about our adventure. We also see that in this 1 year time frame, somehow, Spinel is now the president of Exceed Company and has seemingly kicked out Ametheo's father from that position. And now, he has also managed to twist the story, saying that the Rising Volt Tacklers were the one who destroyed Laqua, but thanks to Exceed, they're reclaiming that lost nature. And when asked about rumors that Pokemon there are experiencing unknown side effects, he tells them that the explorers are dealing with it, and that under the explorers, everyone can be rest assured. What a conniving villain. The episode ends with us getting a look at Roy's new look along with his Pokemon, which now includes a shiny Lucario. I'm surprised they were able to fit in as much of the story as they did here. Smartly, they did a lot of showing and not telling, while keeping more mysteries about the story and the questions regarding the world going. How did Spinel take over the entirety of Exceed Company? Why are the explorers still trying to take over Laqua? What's Spinel's next goal? Where's Ametheo? Where's his father? Where's he in the time skip? Is Friede alive? All of this is still up in the air as we try to figure out where the story is headed. The episode itself felt well paced despite having to resolve a bunch of things, one of them being resolving the story of Lucius and Gibeon. I'm not surprised about Lucius disappearing after his arc is over, but to me logistically it makes no sense for Gibeon to be disappearing like that too instead of aging normally and dying. He was staying alive using Laquium, sure, but he had its physical body body and being. He wasn't being kept alive by some giant Laquium crystal and Zygarde like Lucius was. I could imagine Lucius being more metaphysical than actually a real person, which is why I pointed out 2 episodes ago that he was having Liko do everything instead of him doing it himself, because he really couldn't. But for Gibeon, that makes no sense. It's just a narrative convenience, not actual logic there. And we accept it because it works, although Ametheo strangely seems to not really care that his grandfather was just disappearing in front of him. That's bizarre. Regardless, this episode leaves a lot of questions in the air as to what the Explorers and Spinel will specifically be after next. And personally, I'm curious to see how much of the Legend ZA plotline will be used here, if any. Or will it be like the first part of Horizons where it's just wholly original while using some bits of the game plot? Time will tell, I guess. Let's talk about the time skip since it's already here. I don't think they want to redesign any of the game characters separately just for the anime, so this is probably the end of the Scarlet and Violet kid group. Although since the time skip's relatively short, it's possible for characters like Perrin, who said she wants to see them in the future, to come back without making any significant changes. The character design for Roy feels a lot older than a single year. He fully almost changes in this single year and looks like he will be the main focus of the show going forward. It's surprising that in the years that he managed to grow, catch a shiny Lucario, his Crocodile remained the same. Maybe it's waiting to see Charizard again before evolving, because Charizard is his hero. Same with Liko actually, whose Pokemon also haven't evolved after the year. Hers makes a bit more sense because she's in school. Her design seemingly hasn't changed that much. She does have different hairstyles and seems to be taller, but besides that, nothing too different. Dot also has a substantial change. She's wearing longer clothing while also being taller. And Alt, well, I don't really like his design, but I guess we'll have to see what type of character he is. Maybe I'll like him in the future, who knows. I just can't wait to see where the story goes from here. But what about you guys? What did you guys think about this whole episode? What did you guys think about this whole arc? What did you think about the first part of Horizon pre-time skip, as well as the upcoming arc that we're going to see? Let me know all of it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.